It's Divas That Care Radio. Stories, strategies, and ideas to inspire positive change. Welcome to Divas That Care, a network of women committed to making our world a better place for everyone. This is a global movement for women, by women, engaged in a collaborative effort to create a better world for future generations. To find out more about the movement, visit divasthatcare.com after the show. Right now, though, stay tuned for another jolt of inspiration.
A strong, positive sense of self-esteem is your first step to anything you wish to accomplish. Yet too often, we attempt to leave our comfort zone. We have the chorus of inner critics inside our heads, the itty-bitty shitty committee, as I like to call mine, whispering self-sabotaging doubt and untrue trash talk in our ear. Confidence in Bloom celebrates women who rise above and move beyond any self-doubt and old, outmoded limiting beliefs. Women who have reconnected with who they truly are, that gorgeous, talented, fabulous gift to the world, who deserve recognition and unconditional love. My hope is that their insights inspire all of you to do the same. You know, the most beautiful thing any woman can wear is confidence. Here with the Divas That Care Network, I, Tina Spolatini, speak with women now secure in their own self-confidence so we can learn from their stories of how they found themselves and became the magnificent role models they are to us all now. Today, I'm chatting with Elvira Hopper. Elvira had an award-winning 20-year, six-figure Big Pharma career. She had also devoted 7 years to cancer research at a world-renowned institute. Both were lucrative. Yet she felt like an imposter every single day of those 27 years, and her life was in shambles. At her rock bottom surrender moment, ready to end her life, she was divinely gifted a quick and natural way to escape from her darkness. A miraculous breakthrough that allowed her to achieve her most cherished dreams. This way has helped countless others and is now a world movement. Welcome, Elvira.
Thank you, Tina, for inviting me. It's so great to see you.
Yes, I love your energy. So this, I know, is going to be an awesome conversation. I want to start with the way. What was the way that changed your life?
Oh, wow. That's so powerful. So the way that changed my life, Tina, was a way that was divinely gifted to me. I like to describe at my rock bottom when I didn't want to live anymore and I was actually ready to check out. I had reached a point where living out of alignment brought me so much pain, depression, anxiety, panic attacks, bipolar. I was bullied corporately. I attracted another bully socially, went to a dark place mentally. My marriage nearly ended. Like, it was a shit show, Tina. I'm not going to lie. And yet it's exactly what was meant to happen in order for me to hit my rock bottom and to ask for a way out that wasn't Western medicine, which is the world I lived in, which wasn't slow, like therapy, that I had done for 2 years at one point when I was a new mom and I had mommy issues and I had to go get therapy for 2 years. So the way that saved me was fast and was natural. And I'm a huge advocate for holistic solutions, SOUL, to help us, because I believe that there's far too many ways out there that are, let's just say, more in your face, toxic masculine, or Western medicine, which is, it can be very strong. And yet that's what society is used to, in the 3D world. Everything is, what the doctors say, what the government say versus, what does your heart and soul say? What is it that can support you? And it might be something as simple as breath work, or, in my case, sound healing, are ways to help us. And, there's so many modalities, but the way shown to me was this love your vibe miracle mindset that saved my life at rock bottom and saved my mental health, my marriage. And the funnest fact is it allowed me to become a professional jazz artist at the age of 51. And I'm now a multi-award winning jazz artist at 51. At 60, almost 63 today, I'm multi-award winning. And I'm simply, a person that lived out of alignment virtually her whole life because she was told She couldn't be her. And I became somebody that I believed I had to be in order to be loved, in order to be valued by society. And I lived from ego. That was it simply. I lived from ego. But when I had my breakdown, we'll call it what it is. It was a mental breakdown. I was divinely gifted this way out that allowed me to become aligned, authentic, fully self-expressed, so that I did get to achieve my childhood dream exactly 40 years later at 51, where now I'm as I mentioned, multi-award winning jazz artist. I've performed for Oprah Winfrey's man, Stedman Graham. He thinks I'm fabulous. If you Google Stedman Graham, Elvira Hopper, you'll see me singing to him on YouTube, and not just singing to him, actually wowing him, which is so cool. And the reason why this matters is not for me to, puff myself out and say I'm great. No, it's because I believe that even if we get to our thing later in life, it's not like we have to play catch up. It's almost like because it's our thing to do, the universe thanks us and gives us these like little pats on the shoulder to say, hey, guess what? You're in alignment now. I'm going to give you awards. I'm going to let you, I'm going to let you wow a celebrity, like it's amazing what happens when we have the courage to do our inner work and get aligned, authentic, fully self-expressed, and the validation from the universe that we get to feel because internally we validated ourselves and we become everything we were brought here to be.
My God, I love that whole story. So, but it also brings me to mind the, I've been hearing a lot lately that where you are right now is exactly where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
And, God, the universe, whatever source you want to, or whatever you want to call source.
Yeah.
It recognizes that, right? And
Yeah.
brings you to where you need to be at the right time, right? Like it's just funny how, like you said, we don't have to go back and, try to pace ourselves. And, I can't remember the word that you used, but whatever happened, happened. So enjoy where you are right now and move forward with that and what you know now, right?
Exactly.
Love that.
And everything happens for us, not to us, Tina, because we have to go through every single situation that we've gone through. We had to go through it because we get to be who we are today. And I am so grateful for all the shit shows that I started because they've made me who I am today. And I'm blessed to say that there's wisdom that have come out of these shit shows. And trust me, I've starred in a lot of shit shows. And I'm sorry if I'm swearing too much for your show, but honestly, like
It's all good.
Yeah, this is who I am. I'm not, playing small. I'm not hiding. I'm not filtering myself to make other people like me. I am just being who I am. And I see a world full of us that have done the inner work, that know who we are, that aren't hiding behind labels and ego masks and all that kind of stuff. We're just being who we were brought here to be. I see us as ushering in a new earth. I see us as bringing available heaven on earth, because I believe heaven on earth is a mindset and we just have to tap into it. And so that's the world I live in, right?
Yeah.
And a
There's
lot of
there's so much to be said about, heaven on earth, right? Like we've all, now you and I have come from similar backgrounds, with the Italian, generation
Yeah.
of family. And we're kind of, I know in my experience, and I'm sure yours, we're taught that heaven is after we leave this earth. Right
Yeah.
here is where we are punished almost, right? Here is where we have to fear God. We have to fear
Yeah.
the
Oh,
world, right? Like
Tina.
why? Like I don't know. I mean, I don't know that we're right. I don't know that you're on the right path. I want to believe you're on the right path. I want to believe I'm doing the right thing, because I do not believe that God wants us to be here hating our lives. These people, like
Yeah.
my grandfather passed away at 90, my grandma 92. Like in my mind, I don't believe that he put them here and left them here for 92 years to be miserable and hate it, right? Like I don't believe that. And maybe I'm wrong, I don't know, but at the same time, when I think about it, like why are people like you and I finding new paths? Like why is that happening? Right? Like
Yeah.
why is he putting us on, and this isn't a religious talk, but
Yeah. Yeah.
why are so many of us struggling and sort of beating our heads against the wall? And then one day we find something that opens us up to, like the sound healing in your case, like, look at where you are today compared to where you were maybe 20 years
Oh,
ago, right? And it sounds simple, like, play the drums or play, I know you don't use drums, you use their kind of
I do.
bowls.
I use all of them. I
Oh,
have a
you
whole
do
bunch of
all of them.
instruments.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Yes.
what is it about that? Like why does it take so long? Right? I know, like, if you're 40, like, I don't know when you found, this healing
Yeah.
path, but now that for the rest of your life you're on a good path, right? But why
Yeah.
then, and not when you were 13 or when you were,
Yeah.
struck
I
with
got a
all the
good answer
trauma?
for that. I got a
Okay,
good
good.
answer for that.
I want that answer.
Yeah, I've got a good answer. I had to struggle up until my mid to late 40s before I had my well, because I had my mental breakdown, let's call it that. I mean, there's no other way to describe it. I had my mental breakdown, so it kind of brought me to the end of my egoic existence. And then when I had my breakdown and my breakthrough, was when I stepped into my higher self existence, my soul existence, right? So I went from ego to soul. And it happened that late because I'm here to show others, hey, it's never too late for you either. I had to go through the struggles for a long time. And I also had to learn a lot of things in my previous life, which I get to use today because I was an award-winning Big Pharma rep, driving the company car, making six figures. I kept getting promoted and I was yada, yada. My ego ran the show back then. But also, I was in that industry for 20 years for a reason because I basically became a bit of an expert in branding, sales, marketing, promotion. And today, I get to run an amazing organization where I get to run the back end of this personal development business that I have because my people that serve using my platform, they just plug and play and use it as a way to help others. They don't want to figure out the back end of a personal development business. So I had to go through that life so that I could be able to support my amazing team today. Right. So we go through everything for a reason. But the most important one is to show that it's never too late. You're never too old. In fact, I have a great little song. Can I sing it for you right now? My little
Absolutely.
song. Okay.
Yes, please.
So I talk about being a miracle magnet, right? Because if you live out of alignment and, before my breakdown and breakthrough, I was a crap magnet. Ego ran my show and I was a total crap magnet. But then when I had the breakdown and I got my way, as you called it, my way out was the Love Your Vibe Miracle Mindset. It allowed me to become a miracle magnet. Okay. So here's what I want to share with others. Okay. So I'm going to sing it for you. All right. It goes like this. A one, a two, a one, two, three. It's never too late, and you're never too old to be happy, healthy, and wealthy and bold. You've got to be a miracle magnet. Be a miracle magnet. Do those things that you were brought here to do, and be a miracle magnet. True. Boop, boop, be do. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Oh my gosh, I love it. That's so beautiful. So beautiful. And it's true, right?
Yes,
Like being
yes,
your, like, okay, so we all know, like, high energy, attracts high energy, low energy attracts low energy. And
yes, yes.
that is sort of the gist of it, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's all of it, all in
Law of
one little.
attraction, baby. That's all it
Yeah.
is. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, absolutely, Tina. Yeah. And when you vibrate low, you are what I call a crap magnet. And that was me most of my life because I lived out of alignment. I was a people pleaser. I was an imposter. I had to be what my daddy told me that I should be because when I saw a bunch of women singing and dancing on stage when I was 11 years old, and I knew I was one of them, which by the way, I get to be today. Back then, I said, Daddy, I want to be one of those women on stage. And my dad, who could sing like Pavarotti, but never had the right mindset to do anything with his music, said, you can't be one of those women because those women are sluts. And that's when I got shut down. And that's why I said to my little 11-year-old self, I don't want to be a slut. Okay, daddy, I can't be who I want to be up on stage singing and dancing. Who do you need me to be so you will love me? And I figured out real fast, Tina, in my little 11-year-old mind, that he wanted me to be a good little Italian Catholic girl get good grades, get a good career, get a good husband, and give him some grandchildren. Well, guess what, sister? I checked off all those boxes, and at my rock bottom, I was ready to check out. I was ready to end my life. And
And
the
and
thing
at the end,
that's
yeah, at the end of the day, you're not happy when you're living somebody else's dream.
exactly, exactly. And I wanted to be that good girl that listened to my father, that was the people pleaser, just like he was people pleaser to his parents. And that's why he never did anything with his music, Tina. He died 12 years ago, so sad, my daddy, with two types of cancer,
Oh my
mental health struggles, and a marriage in shambles because he paid the ultimate price for living out of alignment. He paid the ultimate price for not living authentically with the gifts that he was given. He paid the ultimate price for living from his ego, not his soul. And he paid the ultimate price for not having the courage to be fully self expressed and doing something bigger with his music versus just singing at family parties and work events. He could have recorded an album. Sadly, I didn't get his album. I'm blessed to say that I recorded my album quite a few years ago. So when I die, my kiddo's going to have my music, but I never got my daddy's music,
Yeah,
right? So
that's
so
really
this
sad.
it is sad. It is sad. And so here's the thing. We can either be an example for people how to live, or we can be an example for people how not to live. And he showed me, and I've never said that before, but he showed me how not to live. And I did the opposite. And guess what? I live the life of my dreams today. I don't work a day in my life. I am living in absolute alignment with my highest self, my highest purpose, and my life is just, I don't want to sound, cheesy, but my life is a dream. I have attracted virtually every dream I've ever had, and it's because I vibrate at the level of miracles. I choose it for myself, and I teach people how to do it too. And I have a beautiful growing team that facilitate this work as well, because I'm just one person and I need this amazing team to share it with the world. So
Absolutely. My God, I love that. It makes me actually feel really excited, right? Like it just gives me this energy. It also makes me wonder, okay, so you have lots of energy. You're clearly happy. You're clearly,
yeah.
attracting other happy in your life. What was it like, back in your, how do you call it, your ego
Mm.
state, or I wrote it down,
Crap
ego
magnet
existence.
existence.
You're, yeah,
Yes.
like how, like what were you like on a daily
Oh,
basis? Like, were you that person that came into work with your face to the ground and you just sort of,
no,
like,
no,
I
no.
can't
I was the
imagine you.
opposite.
Yeah, I
I was
can't
the
imagine you
opposite.
not being, excited and happy and positive. Like, I just couldn't
Yeah.
imagine you not
Yeah.
being that. So how did you make that switch from
Yes.
egoic to soul, right?
Yes.
And still
Great
keep
question.
that great energy?
Okay. And that is a great question. If you saw me back then and saw me now, you'd think I was the same person because on the outside, I looked the same. I put on the big smile. I pretended everything was great. I was the people pleaser. I was the imposter. I lived for other people's approval. I used to need outer validation like I needed oxygen. So I did put on the big smile and pretend everything was okay because on the inside, I felt yeah, I felt
Dead.
like a crap
Yeah.
magnet. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but here's the thing. When I had the breakdown, I call it my blessed breakdown because had I not had the breakdown, Tina, where would I be working right now?
You probably wouldn't be here,
No, I'd
right?
be in
You
Big
would, yeah.
Pharma or
Yeah.
dead. Okay.
Or dead
So,
because you were
so
at your
I,
rock
yeah,
bottom. Yeah.
exactly. I'm blessed to say that the breakdown, the blessed breakdown led to the spiritual breakthrough. My way, as you call it, was what I was able to, shift over to embody and become this miracle magnet. And today the smile is real. The joy in me is real. And it's funny because people go to my website and they're like, wow, I love that picture of you. And I said, yeah, it's pretty cool, isn't it? If you go to elvirahopper.com, you'll see it. It's pretty cool because it's me with my head thrown back and I'm laughing and I'm wearing this corporate suit, this black and white outfit, this corporate suit. And it's like today that joy is authentic, it's real. There was a time when that it looked real and I looked happy and all that, but it wasn't real. So this is about doing our inner work so that that smile, because a lot of us are people pleasers. We smile with like pain behind our smile, right? And but if we do the inner work, our smile is real. our joy is real. So I had to go through that crap, that shit show, like the people pleaser, where I only felt good about myself when other people validated me. I used to need that validation, like I needed oxygen. That's how I describe it. And, you know, there's another way to live. If you're that person right now that needs that outer validation, like you need oxygen, I'm here to say there's another way to live where the joy is real and you don't need outer validation, because you know why? You validate yourself. And that is where the magic and miracles find you, is when you live in that state.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, I love this. So, okay, so your business, Love Your Mind, Miracle Mindset is what your business is based on.
Love your vibe. Yes. Love your vibe,
Right.
miracle
Now,
mindset.
so that's like, with that, you're talking to clients, you're bringing them to the inner work. You're showing
Yes.
them and guiding them through that change from
Yes.
your egoic existence to
Yes.
their soul existence.
Yes.
Now, I don't want you to tell me everything, but tell me, what does that look like? Because I mean, as a life coach, I know I'm going through it myself. I'm doing some deep stuff.
Yeah.
It's tough. Like it's tough. It's really, really hard.
Yeah, you bet.
And like, it's emotional. It's like, it brings up all this stuff that you didn't even know existed. Tell me, what does it look like for a client to come to you and say, help me find joy like you found it?
Yeah, that's a great question, Tina. I'm trying to think of, so right now I'm actually coaching somebody really cool. It's actually my cousin in the States. So I live up in Canada, and this is my cousin in the United States. I'm actually coaching her, and the reason why I'm coaching her is because she let's just say she's doing very well financially. The family has a lot of money, but she's not happy. And she is in a dark place, and she just wants to be happy. And she's followed me on social media, and she's followed my journey for the last, however many umpteen years that I've been on this. This is my 14th year of business. And she watches my content, and she knows that I'm the real deal, that I really am happy, that I was able to transform my marriage. When I lived out of alignment, Tina, my marriage was hell on wheels. Because of my ego, I nearly split up 3 different times for my husband. But what was meant to drive us apart, what almost drove us apart, was actually meant to bring us together. And that is where I know I went through that for a reason, because I'm actually helping other people that want to, stay in their marriages. And the only person that can help somebody is someone who's been there, right? So my cousin hired me knowing that I used to be this crap magnet, and today I'm this miracle magnet. So she knows that I can help her along the way. And that's what we do as life coaches. We're simply guides on the side that can show them, you are here, but guess what? You can be here because I did it. You can do it too. And so we naturally attract those people that they've seen us, and that's why we have to share our stories very vulnerably, very authentically, so people see what's possible for them. Right. So the people that find me tend to be people that have been people pleasers, imposters. They put the big shiny smile on and pretend everything's okay, but on the inside they're a shit show. And yet they know that there's more in store, and they know that they deserve to be happier. And so they lock arms with someone like me or you, and they get to do that inner work. They get to realize that the way they were looking at the world might not be serving them that great. And they get to try on other ways of being. Just try them on like a coat, see if it fits any better. If it does, keep it on. If it doesn't, take it off. So we're all here to be served by whatever modalities work best for us to be living our best lives, aligned, authentic, fully self-expressed. And I'm also the founder of the Miracle Magnet movement, Tina, that states all modalities matter. Whatever modalities help Tina to live in alignment with her highest self, her highest purpose, her with joy, with love, with peace, with prosperity, with laughter, with community, all those great things. That's what Tina needs to follow as her blueprint, right? So this is what we teach in my work, is everybody has a unique blueprint in how they get to love their vibe and be a miracle magnet. They get to choose what works for them. And I say there's over 8 billion people on the planet, Tina, and there's over 8 billion ways to love your vibe and be a miracle magnet. magnet. You get to choose what works for you. So I'm not shoving anything down anyone's throat. Mine's just one modality. My way is not the highway, right? It's just what worked for me. And if people are open to it, I'm willing to share it with them. I have an amazing growing team that's sharing it with the world. But there's other modalities out there. And mine happens to be a divine feminine gentle rain soaks approach, because there's other modalities out there that are more, I want to say, toxic masculine energy. They're very in your face. And they're not necessarily what some people need. People that have been to dark places, people that have been traumatized, they don't need to be further traumatized with these more toxic masculine modalities. They need a more gentle rain soaks divine feminine approach, which is what the Love Your Vibe Miracle Mindset is about, in the format of the Love Your Vibe transformation. This is a program that was developed by two amazing women that had done my work. And they said, Elvira, this was when COVID hit. Elvira, we don't know when we're going to work again, because one was a massage, one still is a massage therapist. The other one's a hairdresser. And they said, we don't know when we're going to work again. And because your modality, your way saved our lives too, we want to share it with the world. And I remember crying, Tina, and saying, oh my God, that's how it gets shared with the world, not through me, through them. Because there's no way I could have developed that 6-month amazing program. They added their own magic to it. Eleanor Hayward and Jennifer Hawkins, shout out to them. They added their own magic to my modality, and they created this beautiful 6-month program that many graduates want to become facilitators of. Why? Because it really, really works. And it's not an in your face toxic masculine. It's a divine feminine gentle rain soaks approach that is needed today, because there's a lot of trauma people have gone through because of our world today, with politics, with wars, with COVID, all the things, right? We are in a dark place as a humanity. And I believe that my modality can help a lot of people who don't want to be further traumatized. So does that kind of paint a picture for you?
Absolutely, absolutely. And what came to my mind actually was, in order to change the world, we have to start with ourselves, right? One person at a time, right?
Yeah,
I fix me, and then I help fix you, and then
Mm.
you carry that on, right? You know how they say, you tell 10 people, and then they tell
Yes.
10 people, and it's kind of the same thing. But if I don't start with myself, I can't
Yes.
help. I don't fix anyone, right? At the
No,
end of the
I
day,
thank you for correcting yourself,
right?
because I was going
Well,
to suggest
yeah,
nobody needs fixing, right? We
no,
just need awakening,
right.
remembering who we truly are.
Right. And
Yeah. Yeah.
if I heal myself, right, then I
Yes.
can help you heal. And I hate the word fix, and I don't even know why that word came
Yeah. No,
out,
that's okay.
because I
We had
actually
a
don't
chance to
believe,
talk about it. This is
yeah,
great.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's what it comes down to, right? I mean, you're
Yeah.
helping other women learn more about themselves and who they truly
Yeah.
are. And so they then can help other women find who they
Yeah.
truly are, right?
True,
That's
true.
really
And men too,
beautiful.
by the way. I actually serve a lot of men. We're all doing this inner work if we want, if we choose to. And the only reason we get to it, well, I'm going to say the major reason we get to it is because we can no longer live the way we used to. It's like the status quo is no longer acceptable. Like my cousin in the States, she is just like, that's it. She's in her mid 60s and she says, I deserve better than this. And she does, and that's why she's hired me as her coach. And I feel very privileged to be able to support her with the right mindset shifts that she is going to be trying on for size and seeing if they help her to live a better life. So there's a lot of ways of doing this, and
Right.
and you need to find what works best for you.
Right. And I want to add to that every single person on this earth deserves to feel better.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. Amen.
Not just anyone who's in a shitty marriage, or someone who's, living like a corporate job and not feeling fulfilled. Every single person deserves
Yes.
to be
It's our
happy.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it is our birthright to be happy. And yeah, I totally agree, Tina.
Yes.
But you see, some people will not get that in this lifetime. This is what I know. Not everybody will get it. Some people will go to their grave, like my dad, without having fulfilled his life mission, his purpose, his why. He was an entertainer. but he never really stepped into it at the highest level. I never got his album. You know what I mean? So some people will not do that inner work to get aligned, authentic, fully self-expressed and leave this world better because they were in it. Some won't. And you know what? We have to accept that.
Yeah,
It's just a part of, yes, we know because we're on the other side, Tina, that everybody deserves it, but not everyone's going to choose it. So the
right.
question is, do you choose that for yourself?
Well, and also too, not everybody's going to believe it. Not
Yeah.
everybody believes that they are deserving and worthy of
Yeah, it's
love
true.
outside, right? I mean, that's the
Yes.
unfortunate part, right? I remember when my grandpa passed, my mom's granddad, I think he was 88. And he used to always say to us when we were growing up that we will leave this earth when we have fulfilled the purpose we are here for,
Oh, what a
right?
brilliant man.
And I mean,
Yes.
I grew up believing that, right? Like I used to think, but then,
Nice.
I had an uncle pass away at 42 and then an aunt who passed away at 62. And I think, my God, what was their
Wow.
purpose? Like at 42, like I mean, I was 26, I think, when he passed away. So to me, I was like, if 42 at the time seemed, I mean, it wasn't old because my grandparents
Yeah.
were still around, but, I
Yeah.
thought, well, it's 42. Yeah, he fulfilled his purpose. But then,
Oh,
as I got older and I started to realize there's so much more than just, working and raising my kids, right?
yeah.
I mean, I loved raising my kids, don't get me wrong, and I wouldn't trade it for the world, but I also believe that there's more to life than just that,
Yes.
right? And
Yes.
so
Amen.
when I think of my uncle at 42, I think, what the hell was his purpose, right?
Oh,
Was he
wow.
happy? Probably not,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
so
It's true.
I don't know. I don't know if there's truth behind that or if some of us don't understand, right?
Yeah.
Or if other
Yeah.
things get in the way, right?
Yeah.
I know that could be a conversation that we could have for hours
Yeah.
and hours because we've all been through situations where we're like, really, that happens? Like that could
Yeah.
happen, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, it just makes me sad thinking about that. But
It
then when
is
I hear
sad. Yeah.
stories like yours, right? And people are finding the truth. People are finding, the truth is within me, right? And this is what I'm actually just learning now. We all know what we're here to do.
Yes.
We all
Yes.
know how to do it. We just don't know we know,
Yes, yes,
right?
and that's why coaches are needed because we tease that truth out of their souls. Oh my God, I've never said that before. It's like, yeah, we just tease it out because it's there. They
Yeah,
just have to connect with it, right? So yeah, I love that.
absolutely. Absolutely. My gosh. Okay, so I want to know maybe if you I don't want you to tell me too many details about your clients, but I'd like to know like how it changes you when you see change in your clients. Like they come to you, they're
Oh,
at their rock bottom, right? Because
yeah,
you're living your soul purpose now, right?
yeah,
And
yeah,
it has to bring more joy, more love, or something, right, to you when you see like your clients growing, right? Because now we're
yeah,
growing now. We're adults. We're not growing physically. We're growing
yeah,
spiritually, mentally,
yes,
right? So
yes.
tell me, walk me
Oh,
through it.
well, you know what? Honestly, Tina, that's such a great question. No one's even ever asked me that. But I think that that is the ultimate for a coach is to see a client taking what you've shared, the insights that you've shared, the answers to the questions that you've asked that allow them to see their lives, themselves in their lives and their purpose, their mission, their why. I use those words interchangeably, mission, purpose, why. And when they finally get it, when they finally get why they were brought here, when they finally get why they had to struggle the way they did, because that's actually a part of their story, because that's what most of my people are. They're people that are mission driven, heart centered people that are here to help humanity in some way. And when they make that connection or they're a musician who's been a crap magnet musician and singing from ego or playing their instrument from ego, and when they get that their music is not about them and they get to sing from their heart and soul, which by the way is the name of my first jazz band, Heart and Soul. When they get that, it's like there's nothing better. There is nothing better than seeing that light bulb go off and seeing them, just go, oh my God, like I didn't get that. And now I get it, and that's transformation. It can happen in an instant, right? It's like a light switch when you didn't know something and now you know it, and yeah. And really, it's like trying on a new coat. Does it feel better than the old one or not? And if it does, then keep it on, right? If it doesn't, take it off, so it's just sharing different mindset shifts, for their consideration. Usually it's through powerful questions and sharing metaphors and sharing my divine downloads, because I'm very connected to spirit. Spirit and I are the A team, and I get to share my insights, and then they take inspired action, right? Because inspired in spirit, coming from spirit, when they take inspired action versus ego action, which is where most people live from their egos, when they take inspired action and they get the results, it's like, oh my God, like you get to watch these people thriving in their purpose and their mission. And my people have done incredible things, and I just sit back and, I smile, I laugh. Sometimes I cry because I'm just so grateful that I get to be a part of it.
I love that. I love that. Now, I don't know how to, okay. So when I'm looking at myself and I know that there's parts of me that I want to forget, right? There's parts of me like, and I'm talking mostly emotional, maybe spiritual too, but mostly emotional. Sometimes they sort of reappear when I'm looking in the mirror or I'm remembering someone. How do you handle that? Like like
Wow.
in your new Elvira that you are now compared to who
Yeah.
you were before rock
Yeah.
bottom, when does she reappear, or does she?
Oh, great question. Okay, I think I know what
Yeah,
you're saying. So yeah, so ego is always going to be in driving in the car with me, okay? Ego is always going to be there, but ego doesn't have to take the steering wheel. Okay, this is how I describe it. So my life went from ego driving the car, right? On the steering wheel, and my ego is like 3 years old. It's a little girl, okay, and she really shouldn't be driving a car. She should be sitting in the back seat in a baby seat, right? And and so that's the shift I made from ego driving the car, where I was constantly getting into accidents and there were shit shows because the 3-year-old was driving the car. That's ego. But when the ego goes to the back seat and spirit and I drive the car, it's like spirit has half the steering wheel, I have the other one. We're really one, like when it comes right down to it. When that happens, then life is pretty damn good. But occasionally, there will be a little jostle, because people do have egos, and I will be triggered by someone's ego, and it'll trigger my ego. And then the little girl jumps and tries to drive the car again. So sometimes, ego is activated. I'm still human. I still have an ego. But here's the beautiful thing. I'm very aware of it, and I can put it back into the baby seat again and go, okay, here you go, sweetie, get back into the baby seat. You don't have to drive the car. Me and spirit got you. It's not like you're killing the ego. It's not like you're crushing the ego. No, I believe the ego just needs to be in the car with you because you're human. You can't run away from your ego. Ego is what protected you when you were a little kid, and you would have
absolutely.
run out into the street. There was fear because the ego just wanted to, keep you living, right? Wanted to
Right.
keep you alive. But anyways, but ego gets to go to the back seat. So yes, every once in a while, my ego will be triggered, and sometimes I'll say something. I'm like, oh my God, and I make amends for it. I apologize for it if my ego was triggered, and then I go back to my authentic self. I get
I
to
love
be
it.
my
I love it. And
yeah,
that's my itty bitty shitty committee, right? Every
yeah,
once in a
yeah,
while, when I think I'm on a roll, I'm like, oh yeah, this is the new Tina. Like I'm happy. I'm, doing my thing. And then I get that voice or
yes,
voices, right? And I'm like, yeah, okay. So really awareness is number one.
yes.
Like that is key,
Awareness is
right?
power. Yes,
Being aware of what's really happening, and then
yeah,
acknowledging that voice, right? Acknowledging,
yes.
thank you for showing up, right?
Yes.
Very
I know you're
grateful
just
that
trying to
you're still
protect
here,
me. I know you're trying to protect me.
right?
Yeah.
But I got this, right?
Yeah,
Like
I got this. Exactly.
yeah,
But
yeah.
see, so the old me, Tina, thank you for explaining it so well. The old me would have not even realized I was my higher self. And whenever I'd be triggered, I would stay in bed for like, days, weeks, months, and twice 2 years. 2 years I spent in horrible dark places because of my depression, anxiety, panic attacks, bipolar, and finally suicidal ideation. Those were my wake up calls, right? And so yeah, I know what it's like to live there and stay there. But today, when I get activated, when I get triggered, my ego gets triggered just in self protection. I'm like, oh, there you are. Yes, thank you for being there. Thank you. Let's go sit in the back seat. And then I continue to drive the car. I don't get taken out of my zone and I continue to move forward. So that's a great question. I'm so glad you asked it.
Yeah, I love that. And the thing is, we're all different. And so, we're all going to be triggered by different things. And so when the ego is, because we know we cannot shut the ego down, right? I
No,
mean, we can quiet it, but we can't shut it down. And so we have to
no.
learn. And this is the one thing that I'm learning with coaching is, teaching, yourself, number one, your higher self, to allow the ego to say its piece,
Yeah,
and then to take its, thank you. Now go
yeah,
have a seat. I got the rest,
yeah,
right? And I
exactly.
think, like, being, at the rock bottom as you were, recognizing your higher self was probably pretty close to impossible, because I know
Yeah,
myself, I
yeah.
would do, like, sit in his personal growth workshop, and they'd be like, mentioning higher self. I'd be like, what is my higher self? I am my higher self. And I
Yeah,
really struggled with that for years. Like, I just
yeah.
didn't
Me
get it.
too. Me
Right.
too. Me
Yeah,
too.
like, I'm thinking, so what is wrong with me? How come I don't have a
Mm.
higher self, or don't recognize it? Right. And so once
Yeah,
you
you were.
do,
Yeah,
right,
it's a
you
light
have the
switch.
power.
It's a
Yeah,
light
you
switch.
have the
Yeah,
power to
yeah.
switch seats, right?
Yes, yes. Oh, that's so good. That's so good.
I love
Yeah,
that. I love
yeah.
that.
So good.
Wow. So your clients must absolutely love your energy.
Oh, they do love me and I love them even more.
Yeah, that's so powerful, right? Because
Yeah.
you can see in them what is there, right? Like, they might
Yes.
not see it, but you can see it.
Yes. And
Yeah,
I hold space for it until they see it too.
that's great. I
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
that. So what kind of people, because you said you deal with men and women,
Yeah.
are coming to you, and how do they come to you?
So usually through, a speaking event or on social media or, networking, they just find me. They're meant to find me. And so they make their way to me. The universe just, brings them my way. And, yeah, I tend to find them that way. And then, we'll have a conversation and it's gonna go the way it's meant to go. And the people I serve tend to be midlife plus. So, tends to be like, 45 to like maybe 75. These are people that know that they're here for more. There's more in store. They just don't know what it looks like. And yeah, they hire me, they lock arms with me. Interestingly enough, a lot of midlife male musicians in their 60s and 70s hire me because they have been doing their music, but from a space of not good enough. Just like my father, he never felt good enough to be professional, not good enough, and they're basically crap magnets. They're attracting really crappy things, like low paying gigs, not being taken advantage of as musicians. There's so many, so sad that in this industry that I happen to work in, it's not the only place I work in, but, as a musician, there's just really negative mindset in a lot of people that they are just you receive what you put out, right? And if they're in a low vibration and they're crap magnet musicians, they just attract crappy things back. So I help them to shift into living as their higher self as a musician, and they realize, oh my God, like I can't believe it feels this good. They're still doing the same things but from a different mindset, right? So that seems to be someone that finds me a lot. And a lot of, women entrepreneurs that know they're here for more, mission driven, heart-centered women, they seem to find me as well. And so I have different programs based on, how deep they want to go, what kind of, how much they're able to invest in themselves. So yeah, I have a whole bunch of different ways that we can work together. Yeah. Yeah. Does that answer your question?
I think so. I think so.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So I like to say one of my latest taglines is it's my mission to help you thrive in your mission, right? So if you don't know why you're here, or you know why you're here, I either help you connect to why you're here or take why you're here to the next level. So it's like wherever you are, if you know that there's more in store and you do have a mission, you just don't know what it is yet, or you know what it is and you just want to go to the next level, I'm your person.
I
So
love that. Thank you so
yeah,
much. Thank you so much for joining me today. So this conversation, felt like it was 2 minutes. It went by
that's
so
what
quickly.
aligned
Yeah.
conversations feel like. Yes.
Right. I mean, I
Yes.
think we covered so many different things, right? I really like the defining the ego and the soul. I really like how really, and you said that right at the very beginning. And so I think I know for myself, but then I understand the difference, right? I get it, right? Like I get when we're living from our ego and when we're living from our soul,
Yes.
difference in life quality, right?
Yeah.
And I think,
Oh,
I hope that our listeners are going to feel the difference, and
yes.
understand that where they're living and where they want to be living. And if they need your services, they will call out to you or to myself
Yeah. Or
even,
you. Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
There's so
like
many of us.
there's so
Yes.
many, and the
Yeah.
thing is every and I mean, not every coach can do what you're looking for. And so
Yeah.
on that note, like keep looking, right? It's like that
Yes.
quote, it's like this mindset. If it's not working for me, take it off and go find someone else, right? Go find
Yes.
what will work for me. I love
Yes.
this. Yeah. Thank you
Yes.
so much for
Oh,
joining me.
my pleasure. This was so great. Yeah, and honestly, if I can put a plug for my team, they're amazing people that facilitate this inner work in small communities, 8 people and under. And if you look at 8 sideways, it's infinity, very sacred number where they can join a small group for 6 months and they can go from being crap magnets into being miracle magnets because my team holds space for them to do that inner work, and they're not alone because it's hard to do this inner work on your own. So either you hire a coach like yourself or myself, or you can do this in the right community. And so I highly recommend them to check out this program. It's elvirahopper.com/bundle, and they can check out the Love Your Vibe transformation. I just want to put a plug in for that, if I may.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
thank you.
Confidence in Bloom is a celebration of self-love, a confirmation that even though you may not look like a screen star or a supermodel, they don't even look like that. You are an amazing, desirable, brilliant, gorgeous, talented woman. We offer unconditional love to our partners, our children, our extended family, even our pets. It's high time we got out of our own way and learned to unconditionally love ourselves. In Full Bloom Styling and Coaching offers an online program combined with one-on-one coaching in confidence building, personal branding, and creating your signature fashion look. Chic definitely does come in every shape. So if you want something to believe in, start with yourself. If you'd like to be a guest here on Confidence in Bloom, contact me through Instagram at infobloomstyling, by email, tina@infobloomstyling.com, or through the Divas That Care website.
Thanks for listening. This show was brought to you by Divas That Care. Connect with us on Facebook, on Instagram, and of course on divasthatcare.com, where you can subscribe to our newsletter so you don't miss a thing.